So that's the butterfly effect, right? I got a call from my son's school that said that he had an incident with another student. He put his hands on him because the student was hugging another student, and something triggered in my son's head that he must go and protect the other student because his space is being violated and ain't gonna happen on his watch, right? And so I haven't talked to Michael in relation to this, but now I'm thinking about, okay, we're thinking the trauma is here, but now the trauma is also here. So this is PTSD. I have a video a long time ago where I was talking about PTSD. PTSD isn't just specific to the areas that we associated with. I go into this school as a substitute and I see how every single one of these children have PTSD. Every child that I have talked to has said something similar to the respect that they can't go home and talk to their parents because their parents don't want to hear it. Their parents are like, why are you allowing this to happen? Boss up. And they can't talk to anyone at school because then it creates a bigger situation. So our children are literally surviving the jungle when they go to school because the teachers are bullies. The students are bullies. They go home and their parents are bullies. And they are now becoming bullies to survive the bullying that they are surrounded with. You understand? So it's an interesting space because the entire culture is in a state of PTSD. The entire culture is just trying to survive the reality that we as a culture, in result of circumstances, have created for ourselves. And it's just really interesting what I'm learning from being in these schools personally, but also through my children's experiences, where now my son is acting out towards other students because another student exposed him to this. And I was thinking the sexual effects of his particular behavior, because I do have another child who was essayed by another child. And once I got a hold of it and aware of it, now we're in therapy and now we're doing all these things. But I'm thinking that's the fallout, right? But it's so much bigger than that. So we have to understand, when our children are exposed to things, that it's a butterfly effect. It's not separate. It's all connected. So we have to come and gather around as a community, everyone in the family, everyone in the community. Just know that these babies need to be protected instead of bullied. I know you guys want compliance, but maybe the non-compliance is simply because these children are misunderstood. Weren't you a misunderstood child? Not you specifically. I'm just talking to the community at this point. Weren't we all misunderstood children? Yet we come to children and we immediately misunderstand them. And so now they're surviving us. Now they're experiencing traumatic experiences and they don't know how to process them. Thank God my son knows how to articulate himself. I sat in front of students yesterday. When I asked them questions, they didn't know how to answer my questions. I perceived it as disrespect, but then I said, y'all write down and tell me what you can't say to my face. And what I received from them writing it down was, nobody has ever asked them what they think before. So I am raising my children to be thinkers. I am raising my children to be speakers. I asked my students, I was just like, do your parents speak to you like this, or do your parents speak to you like this? One or two. You ain't even got to use words. And they both held up twos. I was like, okay, that's why you're afraid to speak to me. So we have to understand how we approach these children. We are setting them up to be victims. Perpetual victims, whether they then turn into victimizers or they just continue to allow themselves to be victimized. So yeah, I am sad that my son experienced this, but I am grateful that my son experienced this, because somebody else's child, who knows what the wildfire could have been, but because it was my child who knows how to speak up for himself, because it was my child who has people surrounding him who can help him work through that which he is going to have to work through. My child has the fortitude to overcome this and be a living testimony. So I'm with you. No child should go through this. But if we can learn from any child's experience, we can stop future children from going through this. So thank you, sis. I love this community. Just want to show you guys gratitude. Probably a separate post, but I truly am thankful for all of you. I am so thankful for every single one of you. Have a blessed weekend.